Hey, my beautiful bitches, it's me, Fiona St. James, and welcome to another episode of Fiona's Coffee Talks. And as always, I like to start off every day with a fresh, hot, black cup of coffee. Hold the cream! I'd love to. And of course, I think of my favorite quote of the century by Oscar Wilde, which says, "Life is too important to be taken seriously, so lighten up, folks." Okay, so today's topic, drumroll please, is Part 2 of Eldercare and Eldercare Lawyers. Part 1 I posted about a month or so ago, and of course I spoke about what's going on in my personal life with my dad, and I want to thank everyone because I got such a good response from that, and people contacting me directly and sharing their stories. I mean, I know that I'm not the only one going through this, but I kind of felt like I needed to do a part 2 because if you remember in part 1 I spoke about if you have parents who actually worked and have Medicare but did not have Medicaid, which is ultimately what you want when they reach this stage, because you get so much more help and benefits having that. So it took me, I started this journey about 3 months ago, and it took me all this time with the Eldercare Lawyer, of course, guiding me to get everything done to that point. And the good news is I was able to get that for my dad, so about a month ago. So then I was like, yay, thinking that I was done. No, you're not done. So at that point, once you actually get Medicaid, that's the first step of it. But here's how that works. Medicaid allows you to have this much money, right? But let's say between your pension and Social Security, you make that much money. So they look at that excessive amount, they call it, and that's where the term Medicaid spend down comes in. So in essence, there's another entity called a pooled trust. So what that entity does, which works with Medicaid, is that excessive amount of money, they take and put it into this trust. So every month, the first of the month, they take that extra amount that you're not supposed to have out of your parents' checking account, and they put it in this trust. But then the good news is, because now you're not in a nursing home, which would cost them a lot more, they recognize that. So from that money that goes in the pool trust, they pay your bills. So now another entity that I deal with, and it's going to be a monthly thing where every month, they take the money out, and then I have to send them, scan the bills and fill out paperwork for them to pay it. So when all is said and done, even though they're taking the money out, at least it's going towards, maintenance of rent, Con Ed, cable, any credit card bills pertaining to the person who has the Medicaid. So, excuse me. So that was part 2 of that. So then I was like, yay, but then you're still not done. So now you have that set up, but then it still is not active. He has it, but it's technically not active yet. That takes a couple of months. Now, the whole point of getting this for us, and probably for anyone, I would think, is if you only have Medicare, in terms of home care attendance or getting any kind of PT or OT, Medicare only does a certain amount of time, 6 weeks. Medicaid gives you MLTC, managed long-term care. So now that the pool trust is up and running, then I have a whole new network of people that I deal with. So then this woman who's part of this agency that deals with this, who was referred to by my lawyer, she was like, okay, now you have to call New York State. That's where the tricky part is, because then you have to call New York State for them to do an evaluation. And she forewarned me. She was like, it's going to take you a minute to get through. That bitch was not lying. About a week and a half ago, picture this, Wednesday through Friday, that Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, I was on hold for about 2 hours each day just to get someone on the phone that said, bitch, we busy, give me your name and number, we gonna call you back. Never heard back from them. That Saturday, I was like, let me try this again, because I had, when I was on hold, there was a recording that was saying the best times to call out Wednesday through Friday, 3 to 8, Saturday, 10 to 6. And because I knew timing is everything, because how that works also is everything has to be done by the 8th. If you have everything done by the 18th of the month you're in, then everything kicks in the 1st of the following. So that Saturday, I was on hold from 2 o'clock till about 4:45. Finally got someone on the phone, and someone that was going to actually set up the appointment. 2 minutes into the phone call, we got cut off. I literally thought I was going to have a heart attack. I had gotten my booster shot the day before, Friday, and I didn't respond all that well to it. I mean, I was okay. Friday, I felt tired. I slept like 10 hours. But then Saturday, I was like, oh my Lord, I felt like I had been hit by a truck. So when I was on the phone with this individual, it was bad enough that I was not feeling good. And then 2 minutes into when we got cut off, I was like, I'm going to die. And then thank God, he saw that I had been on hold for like almost 3 hours and he called me back. The universe looked out for me. So we have that appointment coming up. Now, if you wanted to do it in person, he was like, the earliest we have is end of December. But if you want to do Zoom, I was like, yes. So that's happening very, very soon. And then there's a second evaluation, because then once that is set, then I called my person who's helping me out with this, and then she connected me with the MLTC. So then I have that appointment also like a couple of days after the New York State one. That's also Zoom. So the good news of that is everything will be done before November 18th, and then it will kick in December 1st. But it's a lot of work. And every time, just when I think I'm like, oh, good, I'm done, then I'm like, oh, great, now phase 2. And then it's like, oh, great, now phase 3. Now, the good news of all of this is that 3 months into it, I have worked my butt off single-handedly, like done everything. You need to have perseverance to do this. You cannot give up. You cannot let it get to you, because it will. It's hard enough when you're dealing with an aging parent who's not doing well. That's difficult enough. And I have my moments where suddenly I'm not that I'm not handling it well, but I'm only human. I mean, I know sometimes I act like I'm some brazen bitch, but I'm not, I react to it, usually if I'm alone, or like I'll be watching a movie that there's a dramatic moment and suddenly you're like, ah, and then I'm like, wow, I'm crying a lot more than I should be. And I think it's just because it's also overwhelming. But the good news is that light at the end of the tunnel that I've been seeing now, like for a couple of weeks, like after finishing each step, is getting brighter and brighter and brighter. And I'm proud of myself. It's been a lot of work, but I refused to give up. And I was like, I need all of this to happen, so I'm going to make it happen. So, anywho, the work never ends, but I predict that everything's going to go fine. So then December 1st, we'll have home care attendance 7 days a week, X amount of hours a day that to be determined, and then there's just so many more benefits. And then by virtue of doing that, then that speeds up the process of it actually being activated or active, so that you could then use it if you're going to see any doctors or anything. So, anywho, viewers, I know I got such a good response the last time. If anyone was in the same situation where you had that excess amount of money, how easy was it dealing with the pool trust, and then, getting on the phone to get all of this to happen? It's time consuming. I don't know if it's so much that it was difficult, but it took up a lot of time. But when all is said and done, worth it, and that I would not have done it any other way. And I love my parents. So anyway, that's the scoop. That's my story. I'm sticking to it. So glad you guys are here with me. Stay safe, stay healthy. I can't believe it's winter's here already. I can't believe time flies. Time flies when you're having vodka. And I don't even drink anymore. That's the sad part. All right, guys. Love you so much. Thank you so much for being here with me. Until the next time. Love you.